I'm here on the panel. I definitely wanted to get to this issue. This, to me, was the big football story of last year. Of course, you all heard about the tragedy at Texas A&M. They built that tower of logs, which they've done for about 90 years for no good reason. It fell down. Get this. Now the school is spending $1 million to study why it fell. Apparently, Isaac Newton was not an Aggie. The Texas A&M president said, we have an obligation to the families to provide good information about what caused it to fall. Why? Why not just don't build it again?
Because it's tradition.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
What is that
90 years, like you said.
But tradition means what?
Well, has it fallen before? That's my question.
It did fall once in 1994. Miraculously, no one was hurt. But even if it didn't, why do something just because you always did it? Is that a good reason to do something?
Yeah, when you go to college, that's the whole fun of it. You have tradition. People look forward to this. They want to do it. Just let them do it. But not if it hurts someone. I understand that. I think $1 million is a bit steep. Sure, investigate. I'm sure the parents of the deceased would appreciate that. But, you know, it's a bunch of kids who got drunk and got carried away and used really bad judgment.
Yeah.
And you want to carry that tradition on?
No, I said not carry that tradition on. The tradition of building the bonfire itself.
Bonfire.
I think that they built it too big. I think they were jumping all over the place and going crazy. It's an accident. Accidents do happen.
But why build a bonfire?
Because it's college and people do things in college. You can't explain it. There's no explanation. I'm sure everybody's done things in school. You know, you just do it because it's fun and you're kids.
Why can't they? I did things in college.
Yeah.
Like throwing up on the sidewalk outside of a pizza
It's tradition,
parlor.
isn't it? Isn't it, Bill?
But I don't want to continue that tradition.
He's going out in a tour of Fiddler on the Roof. It's tradition of it. Now, my people believe that nothing good has ever come from a big burning fire. Burning fire, bad for my people.
Yes, you're right. There is something very Nuremberg about a bonfire.
Yeah, is the football team all charged up the next day going, they built a fire for us last night?
Yeah.
You see that sucker burn?
Football team's not there. They're in the hotel.
Team's not there. That's right. Yeah. These are all the people that didn't make the team. Going, let's build a fire.
It's disturbing that people talk about the tragedy that, you know, they say that the great tradition was tarnished, but the tragedy, to me, is people doing things for no other reason.
I'm not saying the panel, but it seems so obvious that if you respect what happened, you would basically never do it again. That would be the true way to honor the people that died.
Right.
This idea of kind of foraging on for the big game, I think it's exactly that kind of sentiment that creates a situation where you build a dangerous bonfire because the big game is so important, but we all know the big game is really not that important and certainly not worth people's lives. So.
And certainly...
Do you still believe that they should spend the millions of dollars in the investigation?
It's been
no.
It seems if they're doing it to find out what actually happened for, you know, criminal reasons or litigious reasons, which is probably true, that makes sense. If they're doing it to justify building
criminal, well, not even Oliver Stone could find a conspiracy here.
You don't know.
They put things on top of each other, and they fell. It's ironic because Texas A&M stands for Agriculture and Mechanical Engineering. And this was a tradition that was passed on only orally. Nobody ever wrote a blueprint. I'm not...
No, but I think Bill is right. The $1 million investment is probably a hedge against the lawsuit. Well, you know, so they can say, well, what happened was they apparently were drunk blotto, and there's your... well, we're going to put $1 million into that, and...
it's
you know,
throwing good...
It's throwing... Yeah, of course, they're protecting themselves.
They're protecting
when the lawyers come. They will come. Of course they'll come.
Right.
But, you know, we had traditions in this country like women couldn't vote, African Americans sat in the back of the bus. Traditions don't mean anything.
But they do... I wish that was true. I wish tradition didn't mean it, or at least people would examine why a tradition is a tradition and say, you know, Thanksgiving is a tradition, but, you know, it has a meaning. we're sort of sitting...
It signifies us killing all the Indians.
Exactly.
Taking over their land.
All right, bad example.
No-win situation here.
Bad example. All right, I want to thank all my guests, Jason Alexander, Margaret Cho, Billy Corgan, and the Smashing Pumpkins, Shannon Elizabeth, Mark Harmon, Ali Landry, Rick Schroeder, and the Smashing Pumpkins. There they are again. Join us Monday when my